Today we have Troy Clogg, founder, Clogg Landscape Associates, joining us. This is, it's sort of a teaser, but he's really going to dive also into some details about his business. Troy is the co-host for our Summer Growth Summit, August 18th to 20th. His company is about 20 million this year, although he's telling us on this podcast how he's about to sign an acquisition deal in 2 days. He shares with us how he got started, what he did to get the business off the ground, and how he still does that today. He shares what he did when he first started it and how he's expanded greatly. He talks about his supply house, a totally separate business, and you will hear from him whether he makes money at it or not, and actually why he started it in the first place. And I ask him, what's made you successful after all these years? He shares that. This is really a very humble gentleman. Not a lot of show, but he's got a lot of knowledge and stories. And you're going to hear many of them here on this podcast. And when you come to the Summer Growth Summit, and you're going to hear him speak on his whole approach to branding and charity, and really how that's been a driver for him to grow the business, why he's been able to retain employees so long. His number one employee, once he incorporated, really is still with him today. He shares that on the podcast and why he thinks that's the case. So I'll put the Summer Growth Summit link in the show notes. You have till May 8th to sign up with the super early bird. And you will also, I'll also put in a link for one of Troy's charities. He loves charities. He's great at making things charity first. You give back, but he gives by paying it forward because he knows he gets back. And you'll learn that when you meet him. And so here we go. Let's jump right in. And we're going to hear Troy Clogg talk about his business and a few of the secrets from his summer house. I guess it's a winter house, from his house in Mexico, which is where he's recording this. Here we go. We just had our countdown and now it's liftoff. Troy Clogg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate being invited to participate today.
Yeah. Well, you were just telling me about your hat offline. For those that are watching, some of us might be watching on YouTube. Most are just listening. But what does your hat say?
Yeah, what does it say if I lean in there?
It says, "Be salty, stay lit." Matthews 5:13-14.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's one of our favorite phrases. So the first time I started wearing this, I got a lot of social media comments when people looked up what it really meant. So I challenged those to look it up. We also have Proverbs 27:17, which is one of my favorites. And there's some other ones coming online, whatever the guys want. So,
and the other side of your hat is pink. What is that?
Yeah, one side of my hat is hot pink de-icer, which is our de-icing product we sell in Canada and the United States.
So Troy, let's go back a few years. I'm not sure how many that is, but when you got started, give some insight to others that might be in the starting off phase of their business.
Yeah.
What worked, how you got started, what worked well for you?
Well, yeah, it was many decades ago because I was a teenager and I'm not anymore. Social media didn't exist. The internet didn't exist. So the way you found customers was door to door or flyers in front doors or mailboxes. So I lived outside of Detroit in a little town called Farmington Hills. Pretty congested neighborhoods. I mean, not small lots, but lots of people. So yeah, just started knocking on doors, and within a couple of years, I had 447 customers in 4 square miles. Mostly just cutting grass, along with some other projects in their yards. That went into residential snow plowing. I dabbled a little bit in college, but it was hard to go to school and work all the time. And then, yeah, in my early 20s, it was time to either stay in the business or go find something else to do. So I stayed in the business, bought my first house, moved out with Greg, who is employee number one and still works with me today.
He was there at the
So
beginning.
he was there at the beginning. He was one of the first. There was a bunch of, friends that you're cutting grass with as a teenager. But
Yeah.
when I officially made it a business, and yeah, Greg's been there all along. He's a mechanic today.
How long is that?
Over 40 years, Jeffrey.
Dang.
Over 40 years.
Okay.
You had to call it out. Yeah, I am 62. I'll be 63 in a few months, and I was a teenager. So do the math.
I'm just calling out how long he stuck around, which is
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a couple others that have been here not far behind him. They were teenagers, and now they're grandparents. And a lot of other changes along the way. But that's where it started.
Yeah.
It evolved. If you want me to go into that, or you want to skip ahead to something else.
Well, what is it about you, do you think, that has people sticking around for 40 years?
That's probably a good question for them. Better than it is me. But I don't know. To be honest, we work hard. I'm very honest and transparent and caring of other people, and but I expect a lot. I expect a lot of myself. I expected a lot of the people who worked then. Early on, we were offering salaries and full-time positions when that really wasn't common in the trades, which is kind of the birth of becoming large in snow so that we could employ people year round.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of buddies in other trades weren't doing that. And yeah, I think some of the safety and security and belief in where we were going kept them around.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to see him when we come visit you.
You will. You will. He won't talk much, but you'll see him.
So, okay. So 40 years ago. And how big are you today, roughly? Round numbers.
Oh, it's the same. Hasn't changed in 40 years. No, it is, I don't know, 100 and some odd people in revenue. Will probably be 20 million-ish this year. Those kind of things. And now we do everything. So now it's all the green season work, mowing and fertilizer and bed care and tree trimming and plant health care in the tree side, design, build, residential construction, some commercial construction, a lot of snow, all the things.
Yeah. And you opened up a supply house for the trades. When did you open that up?
That's been 15 years now. 15 years now. So yeah, supply yard that is in a little different city, a little further away from where our contracting yard is. That was the home of the Hot Pink de-icer. That's the home of the charity where it all kind of began, was selling pink salt and helping families.
And that was 15 years ago you started Pink.
Yes. And then since then, the supply yard has grown to be all the things: Unilock, dealer, mulch and stone, and synthetic turf and indoor kitchen products, really everything that a landscaper could need of any size landscaper. And snow, warm and dry salt in the middle of the night. We're pretty proud of that. You pull inside the building, you get loaded, you pull back out, everything's warm and toasty, get a donut and go back to work.
A lot of people think about starting up a supply house or a garden center even. And what was it, though, that drove it for you to open it up specifically? Like, what was the driving force?
Specifically, it was probably me. The economy was slow. I had this desire to start the philanthropic side. And so I felt like I needed a home base to do that out of. So I rented a little building from some friends. The only real estate I've ever rented. Otherwise, I'm an owner. We do own the building now, but I rented a little place. I thought to myself, well, I already have inventory. I already have mulch and these things. But I will say, in full transparency, for most people, I wouldn't do it. Not if it's not if the motivation is to make any real money at it. I wouldn't do it. The philanthropy side's been good. I've employed some great people. We have fun. We don't make any money. Not yet. It's been a long time. Some years we make a little. If it doesn't snow, we don't make any, and that's the honest truth. I be very careful, be very leery of those who
Would you say though that?
decide to open a supply yard. Just be careful.
Well, let me ask the tricky, sneaky, slippery question here. Does it help you make money on the contracting side, or is that more shifting around numbers?
It's the latter. It's shifting around numbers. At the size of the company that the contracting side is now, I could buy around the supply yard. I do. I buy directly. We buy from our supply yard to support it. And we get some good pricing because we're a large volume buyer. Same stuff we would pass on to other large contractors. But it's tough, admittedly. Other than the salt, the bulk salt and the hot pink de-icer program is great. But being a local supply house to sell 2 or 3 yards of mulch, a pallet of brick, it's a lot of overhead and a lot of great people to have on staff to support that. And we don't have a greenhouse. We don't have any room for plants. That's another whole additional business.
I feel the same about nurseries, although there's some that have done great, obviously, and putting the real estate play aside, right?
Right.
Some have gotten great synergy from it, and others not.
Most of the guys that have, I feel, been honest with me when we have this conversation, whether they went into the supply yard world or they went into the tree farm nursery world, it's more of a passion project than it is a real lucrative business opportunity.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's flip that around, Mr. Clog. Or as they would say in the South, Mr. Troy.
Mr. Troy.
I'm Mr. Jeff and you're Mr. Troy.
Yes. They say that here in Mexico too. I am Mr. Troy a lot.
Mr. Troy, there you go. Must be a Southern and deep South politeness, which I like.
I do.
My wife loves it. Yeah.
I do too.
And so, what on the flip side, Mr. Troy, what is the most or more profitable part or parts of your contracting business?
Can depend. The snow side of things, along with the design, build, and tree work, all have similar gross margins. Fertilizer too. Fertilizer's up there. Lawn cutting, unfortunately, has gotten more and more challenging as life has gone on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how it breaks down. Irrigation's great, especially with some of the new technologies now. A lot of new lighting and water management technologies really help in the irrigation side.
Okay, so that's a lot of different parts. So there's a lot you still love. At least your accountant still loves about your business.
Yeah, some parts are better than others, but and as I've shared before, we are mostly snow. So if we have a good snow season based on the good Lord and Mother Nature deciding it's going to snow enough, then they're good winners. Same with the supply yard. The supply yard is heavily reliant on selling salt and de-icers.
So it is
for its P&L. So it too has the same challenge.
So it is not a hedge for your snow business. It's the opposite.
No, it's the opposite. It is the opposite. Never claimed to be the smartest businessman. I just work hard at things, and sooner or later they succeed.
You know, outworking your competition takes you pretty far.
It does. It does. If you're willing to just run a little bit faster than the person next to you, you usually don't come and frequently win and never in last place.
Yeah. Do you still go door to door like you did when you first started off?
You know, that's a great question. I do promote it with the guys. This year, I'm going to spend some more time in the field. Kind of my priorities are out with some of these new young managers. We do still do a door hanger program, so that when we're in neighborhoods doing tree work or fertilizer, doing anything really, we have a little announcement on the landscape one that kind of says, "Hey, we're going to be working down the street. Sorry for any noise or disruption." The tree work, I mean, again, we do a lot of the stuff in residential areas, so So we still hang some door hangers, go talk to some people. In today's world, you can use a QR code on there and um, embed videos and send them right to websites. You can do a lot more than we used to have to do. But I still promote the handwritten note. Even if you're going to door hang, there's room on there right up, hi, I'm Mr. Jeffrey. I was cutting a tree down the street today. Give me a call. It makes a difference,
Yeah,
I think.
it goes a long way.
I think.
That personal touch.
It doesn't take very long, right? I mean, you're already there. Some guys don't like it, but we reward for it. We measure for it and try to see who gets the greatest results of their effort.
So this summer, we're excited to come visit you, your company, and Ivan Katz and his company in Detroit. And tell us what I know this is like me asking who's your favorite child. I apologize up front, but what are you most excited to show off or show in your business when we come to visit you for the Summer Growth Summit?
At the end of the day, it's really just the people who have chosen to spend their life working with me. I said Greg is still there after 40 years. He's probably not going to say much. He's a quiet giant. But yeah, it's mostly the people. I mean, there's a building and there's trucks and there's things like I think there is at everybody's location. But the people, the way we gather, we're not perfect, but our culture is pretty supportive of one another, and we try to behave more like a family than some of the businesses out there that grind a little harder on the P&L. We're a little more focused on the humanity side, I think. So at least it looks like it in the P&L, because there's guys with better P&Ls, and I don't really want to fire anybody to improve my P&L. So I think we're going to meet a lot of people. Hopefully the weather's going to be great so we can get out and about in the property. Lots of little details. The front of the building is designed in a simple way, in a way that I think more folks in the snow regions should design. There's locations for snow. There's locations for salty piles of snow, so you're not killing plants. There's some simple thought out things that I'd like to see used a little bit more in the industry for those of us who do snow anyhow. Yeah. Frequently the summer side and the winter side aren't thought about simultaneously when new plants are going in. And it makes a difference up, at least in the regions where we do a lot of salt. So those little details will be there. I don't know, lots of truck stories. I'm loaded with truck stories, and so are the guys. We have a lot of iron, so there's a story.
We're definitely going to learn about how you finance your equipment and get that highest ROI. We're definitely going to learn about your hot pink branding lifestyle. I think it's your lifestyle, really.
It is. It is.
Are we going to learn the secrets on how you went from 50,000 to 20 million and beyond? I know you got some things cooking, and so you're planning on growing beyond that.
The 20 million is not the supply yard or many of the other things. It's just the landscape and snow business. There is a sign on the dotted line. Day after tomorrow, and we'll get a little acquisition near us. Not really my normal. It's been pretty much all organic growth, but good people in a good location. That will be very helpful. You're going to learn all kinds of those things. The truck stories are kind of going back to what I already mentioned. They're people based. I mentioned employee number one is a mechanic. I used to paint the vehicles myself and do a lot of the work with him when we were kids, and we didn't have any money, and you couldn't get a bank loan. All sounds weird to young people today. But yeah, nobody would co-sign for us, and the bank wasn't giving you anything. And so you kind of had to round up a little money and then patch together some things to round up a little more money. And that was the way it all began. And so it still lives on in us. We still buy a lot of used trucks. We build old trucks. We do buy some new things. Yeah. So you're going to look at the trucks, the charity side, the humanity side, the design build stuff. We do some, again, there's a lot of players in the world that do bigger and better than we do, but we do some really fun projects for people, with pools and waterfalls and fires and all the things. And it's a great creative release, and it's always fun to provide a beautiful backyard for somebody.
It sounds like whatever you did early on is that you kept doing that, never forgot where you came from, and that's how you've been able to break 20 million and beyond by basically acting the same way you did when you were younger.
Yeah, that would be very true. The years I tried to be different didn't work out very well for me. Simple things. I mean, I like a hat. I like long hair. I like to go to work. I like to go in people's yards and help them solve problems. I like all the frontline guys, honestly, quite a bit more love than I do the C-level players. They're kind of more my people. Yeah, and I still love it. And as I've shared more than once on social, I still cut my own grass. I'm still using a lawnmower from that same era, and it's good. Keeps it real.
Does your wife still cut your hair?
No, nobody cuts my hair. Once or twice a year, Jeffrey. It's short today.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a ponytail again, and I'll cut it again. See, the pictures behind us here, we're getting along. But if I move one picture to the other side, then we're facing away from each other. That's been a funny series of pictures up there for 20 years. We should probably get some new ones, but anyway.
Listen, I appreciate you checking in here. This is just a teaser for our upcoming event. Any final thoughts or words you want to leave people with?
No, I mean, not necessarily for the event, but certainly should sign up. I mean, everything that you're putting together, Jeffrey, the fact that people are going to be in downtown Detroit at a beautiful location. We do a lot of work in the city for Dan Gilbert and family. City of Detroit gets a bad rep if you haven't been there, but downtown Detroit's a pretty cool spot between all the restaurants and clubs and sporting events and the riverfront. So people are going to get to experience that. They're going to get to hang out with Ivan, who is, just a force all on his own. I love Ivan. So he's going to tell all his great stories about all of his career. Make sure you ask him a very poignant question. The one thing that he almost tells nobody about his youth is not as a kid, but as a young adult, there's one thing that Ivan almost tells nobody. See if you can get that one out of him.
Okay.
It's a good one. I learned that a long time ago about Ivan. And then our charity. I can't do this without promoting. We have a fundraiser on May 9th in Detroit. So a month from now or so, 14th floor, beautiful thing, dueling pianos, raising money for our charity. So I can send you a link for that.
Yep.
And then our golf outing, when we get to your event, we'll also be continuing to sell raffle tickets to win a snowplow or a salter donated by Douglas Dynamics, installed anywhere in either country on your truck, wherever you live. So you don't have to be here to win. And that drawing is at our golf outing, which is our second fundraiser of the year, which is the last Monday in October. So one on May 9th, which is just a celebration, and then the golf outing in the end of September, and your event in August. It's going to be a fun-filled summer here in Michigan.
It's going to be great. I said this on other podcast, but I went to Detroit when it was scary or just decrepit or
it was
some combination.
It was all those things.
And now it's vibrant. It's fun. Downtown's a blast.
It is. It's a whole lot better, and it's been some great change and continuing to change. And then our Canadian friends. I mean, it is just 5 minutes across the bridge.
Yeah,
and you're in Windsor, and there's a lot of great things to do there as well. And if people come and make more of it than just coming to your event, again, there's waterfront and golf courses and And the rest of the state's pretty awesome too, for those who want to come hang out in the rest of Michigan. So,
It is a beautiful state.
it is, especially in August. Right now, a little questionable. That's why I left for a week, but it's a beautiful place.
That's why you're in Mexico. Is it a direct flight from you to
It
Michigan
is.
to Mexico?
It is just in Cancun, so just over a little bit further than Florida. Back and forth, pretty easy. Be back tomorrow and get back after it.
It's a good way to choose where you fly to by direct flights.
Yes,
Good way to choose your vacation home.
it is, and time zone's important. You know, I shared with you before we got on the call. I've been here almost 30 years, and so as a young man and children and family, and it was kind of our cottage up north, which a lot of people do in Michigan, and so it was important that you could get here quickly and easily, and just come for a weekend, maybe back then. Now we come a little longer if we can.
If everybody has a cabin up north, if you live in the UP, the Upper Peninsula, where's your cabin?
Right? Canada. Got to keep going.
It's in Canada, yeah. Must be.
You got to keep going. There's some beautiful places up there. Those guys come in. I mean, the guys who are into that stuff, very remote, off the grid, float plane in, land on the in the small lakes, idle up to your dock. It is the other side of the world. It's gorgeous up there. It really is. There's a lot of beautiful places for hunting and fishing and being out in the middle of nowhere. Pretty cool.
All right, Mr. Troy. Thank you so much for your
Jeffrey.
time, buddy.
My pleasure. Take care. We'll be in touch.